Good afternoon, everyone. Rick Wells, the Sheriff of Manatee County. Just wanted to go over a few things. Beginning tomorrow at 6 p.m., the Sheriff's Office will go into a A-B rotation with no days off. That means all hands on deck. Deputies will be working throughout the clock, throughout the community, trying to make sure that everyone is safe and sound. We've already begun working with our partners at the school district to man the shelters, so we'll have at least 2 deputies at every shelter inside the county. What I want to stress is the fact that evacuating now while you have an opportunity is critical. When winds hit a sustained speed of 45 miles an hour, it's going to be very difficult for deputies to remain out on the roads and trying to help people through that crucial time. We're going to try our best to get to you, but the bottom line is we just may not be able to get to your location. So we are really begging you to evacuate once you have the order. Find a safe location for you and your family and allow the deputies to continue to take care of the other needs that we have throughout the county. So I really can't stress to you how important that is. We are going to do our best to get to you, but bottom line is if this storm hits and it hits us hard, we may not be able to get to you, and that's just something that a position we would ask all of you not to put us in. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. I would just like to remind those that are on the special needs registry or to use the special needs shelter that you must be registered beforehand. So if you have not already registered as a special needs patient, do that now so we can get you registered and approved by a physician. Citizens should make their final preparation now. The storm is slowing down, and we will feel the effects for a longer period of time. So the storm will be slower than initially anticipated. We have seen the flooding here recently. The water is saturated, so that brings some concern. Do not drive in high water. Do not drive in any roadway that you cannot see the road itself. Between the storm surge and the rain, it is dangerous to drive in high water. Please adhere to evacuation orders, as Dr. Hopes announced. Right now, the mandatory A, highly suggested B. You can go to mymanatee.org/weather, mymanatee.org/weather, to see your evacuation level and to view maps. If you're going to a shelter, you must take a cot or a sleeping bag, your personal items, and especially prescriptions. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the EOC will go to a level 1 activation. So again, be prepared, decide if you're going to go somewhere where that might be, and follow the announcements through the media. I'll turn it over to Dr. Hopes.
Thank you, Deputy Director and Chief. There will be many meteorologists that talk with you this afternoon and this evening on the news with regarding evacuations. We need to put this in perspective. We are looking in the Tampa Bay area of a 10 to 15 foot storm surge, with some areas of northern Tampa Bay exceeding 15 feet. That is 15 feet above ground level. That is a tremendous amount of water. You do not want to decide to evacuate when you see water coming under the door of your home. Now is the time to prepare. Tomorrow morning is the time to evacuate to your safe place of choice, whether it's a friend that may be in Lakewood Ranch or a shelter. Please evacuate. This storm is very unique. As Chief Lischauer mentioned, it is slowing down. They expect the storm in current forecast to only move at 5 to 7 miles an hour from our south to the northern part of Pinellas County. Many people walk at that speed. A slow bicyclist bikes at that speed. We can expect tropical storm force winds and weather, and hurricane force winds and weather for a period of time from around 2 a.m. Wednesday morning. The earliest may be 8 p.m. Tuesday evening through 2 to 3 a.m. Friday. 48 hours of hurricane or tropical storm force winds and rain and storm surge in a relentless fashion without a break in the current projections. So you want to get to a safe place to ride out this storm, and you want to go to that safe place sometime before sundown tomorrow. I cannot express that enough. We will not be able to help you after the weather begins to hit the tropical storm force winds and rain. So know your evacuation level. Please heed our orders and our recommendations. With that, we'll take a few questions.
Dr. Hope, do you anticipate having to make any other evacuation orders?
It is possible. Right now, B is voluntary, and that's based basically on the models that we've been provided on storm surge and not being able to access you if you're in trouble. On the island, I know many people on Anna Maria Island and Holmes Beach, and they said they've never had to evacuate. If you've ever wanted to try out following the mandatory order, now's the time to do it and just see how it plays out for you. This is not where I would take the risk.
And just to be clear, so folks should be hunkered down wherever they're going to ride out the storm by 8 p.m. tomorrow, correct?
Absolutely. By 8 p.m. or sundown tomorrow. The earliest projection for us currently, the earliest we can see tropical storm force winds and weather, they're saying is around 8 to 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So you want to be in that safe place with your loved ones, including your pets, by 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Should it change, we will let you know. We are here throughout the night to ensure that you are safe, our community is protected, and to the best extent possible, we're protecting your property and your lives.
The equipment that you guys have out on Anna Maria, are you guys doing anything to make sure nothing happens to that during the storm?
There's a lot taking place with regards to that. There's staging of equipment so we can get out to the island. There are certain equipment that's at our beach patrol sites and things like that.
But the road construction equipment and.
They're working on that now. As you know, we've got a lot of construction at Coquina Key. Holmes Beach has 2 roads, and contractors today and tomorrow are going to be securing those materials and that equipment. In A, it's about 100,000 households, and including the B, I think we're looking at about 120,000 households. So it's a lot of movement, and people are starting to move.
100 and 120, so
No. Including, I think we're looking at what, 120,000 households? 120,000 households combined A and B.
And if you don't leave when it's mandatory, I know you get in trouble. Is there anything in the law that forces you to evacuate?
No, if they want to take that risk, you know, they're grown adults. And once again, we're going to try to help them out, but there's going to become a time when we can't get there.
what time is that? How is it? What wind speeds?
45.
45 miles
At
per hour.
45, we're going to hunker down with everyone else. Deputies will be inside at that time.
And here at the EOC, when the winds hit that level, we bolt the doors. You're not leaving and you're not coming in. Remember too, please, all mobile homes, manufactured homes are in level A evacuation zone. Do not take a risk. This storm has a high probability of spinning off tornadoes. Those of you in Colony Cove and a few other areas in the past month, you've experienced damage, including total destruction of mobile homes with just microburst. This is a major Category 4 and Category 3 hurricane when it nears our area.
Do you have a set time of when you'll be shutting down the island, or is that the 45?
The island will be shutting down at sundown. You will not be able to get on the island. We are going to encourage you to get off of the island before sundown. Mandatory evacuation on the island tomorrow. Prepare today. If you're ready, leave today. But be sure that you are on your way off of the island. You only have 3 bridges to choose from. All right? Be on one of them before sundown. Around an hour after sundown, the water will be shut off to the island. That is because we have to protect our water system and our infrastructure. The water on the island has to be shut down by hand. We have to send utility workers out there to multiple points to shut off those valves. We will not be able to send them out there once the weather comes in. So before the earliest predicted arrival of tropical storm winds, the island's water will be shut off. It will not be turned back on until we verify that we can turn it on without losing all the water in our system. The FPL and Peace River have done a great job over the past, 3-4 years since Irma, strengthening in areas. You notice they're putting up more substantial poles with, getting rid of the wood poles. A lot of undergrounding is taking place at utilities. Unfortunately, on the island, we haven't completed the undergrounding of utilities. We've been very fortunate with our power partners to strengthening the infrastructure for electricity. If you have generators, and hopefully you do when you return and you don't have power, my suggestion is do what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break in about 30 minutes, and I'm going to go fill up some fuel cans, because your generators won't work if you don't have fuel. And remember, fuel comes in by ship. Guess what doesn't come into the ports during anticipated storms? Ships. So don't everybody go out at one time, because the lines will be long, but be thinking about getting fuel for your generators and things for when you return. And fuel your vehicles. I can tell you the county vehicles, we're telling employees, as soon as you get low, if you're near one of our fueling sites, top it off, because we're trying to maintain as high a level of fuel in our infrastructure as possible.
What's the process like in getting the schools prepared to be shelters?
The teams will go in, and the superintendent can verify that. The teams will go in once the children leave today. Nolan is the one that takes the longest period of time. Dr. Bensey at the health department informed us earlier that she needs about 4 hours to prepare for Nolan because of the special needs status of it. Our teams will be out there within about 30 minutes of the first patient arriving. The school will switch over to the generator system so that they will be on uninterrupted power from the first patient until we clear the shelter after the storm. Any other questions?
You mentioned 15 shelters, specifically Nolan with special needs. What qualifies as a special need? And you mentioned like registration needed. Where should people go to find the registration?
There's a pre-registration. Those are your patients that are mostly dependent on electricity for everything from oxygen generators to infusion pumps, basic, life sustaining systems. Yes, and most of those patients are aware of it. There's a considerable amount of outreach that takes place. After Irma, we learned a lot, and we have been very aggressive at getting our residents who have special needs to register in advance. That allows us to call them, make arrangements to pick them up. I will tell you, it hasn't been activated yet, but I was contacted a couple of hours ago by a representative from Uber who has offered free Uber rides for individuals that have special needs, that need to go to the special needs shelter, and I believe any shelter. So stay tuned. We will be announcing it once that gets worked out. But we now have many community partners that are working with us in a collaborative way to help our residents get to a safe place to ride out this storm. This storm is coming. It is coming. And it is going to have an impact on the Tampa Bay region